It's a big deal. It's about stopping violence at work before it even starts. And if you're an employer in California, it just got added to your to-do list. Hi entrepreneurs, I'm Vicky Brown, and you're in the right place if you want to engage your team, boost your business, and grow your leadership muscle. So in this episode, we're tackling a topic that's key for every entrepreneur and business owner out there, especially if you're operating in California. I'm talking about the new Workplace Violence Prevention Program law, or SB 553. Now, before you switch off thinking this is just another piece of legislation to worry about, hear me out. This is something that can genuinely make a difference in creating a safer, more supportive environment for your team. And it's also a new compliance requirement. And yes, let's acknowledge that the thought of creating a violence prevention program from scratch can feel daunting, especially if you're new to this. But here's the thing. It's not just about ticking a box for compliance. It's about genuinely making your workplace safer for everybody. And the good news? You're not alone in this. There are steps you can take and resources available to guide you through the process. But more on that later. So let's unpack what this legislation means for you and your business. First up, let's get a handle on the basics. You see, workplace violence isn't just about those extreme cases that hit the headlines. It's about everything from verbal abuse and bullying right through to physical altercations. Recognizing that it's a broad spectrum is the first step in understanding why the new law is so important. It's all about ensuring your workplace is a space where everyone feels respected and secure. Now, you might be wondering, what does SB 553 require from me? Well, as of July 1, 2024, California employers are required to implement a workplace violence prevention program. Now, there are some exceptions. If your place isn't accessible to the public and you have less than 10 employees, then you aren't required to have a program. But if you have 10 or more, then you are an eligible employer. And by the same token, no matter how many employees you have, if you're public facing, then you are automatically part of the requirement. Now, I know the question will come up. What counts as an employee? Well, if all your folks work from home the whole time, then they don't count. But if you're doing the hybrid thing, then they do count. You see, the actual bill says, and I'm paraphrasing here, if the remote employee's location is under the employer's control, then it counts. And another thing to keep in mind is that classification doesn't really matter either. The person can be full-time, part-time, an intern, or even a consultant. They will all count toward your employee count. Now, the backbone of the program is the written workplace violence prevention plan that you're going to need to develop, implement, and maintain. The program also includes conducting risk assessments, providing training, establishing clear reporting procedures, and maintaining records of workplace violence incidents. I know it sounds like a lot, but stick with me here. Now, step 2 is all about assessing your workplace. Look around you. What are the potential risks? Do you have late night shifts, work in isolated areas, or deal with volatile situations? Assessing your specific environment and the nature of your work will help you identify where you might be vulnerable and what specific measures you need to put in place to comply with the new law. Next up, drafting your policy. Among other things, it should clearly state that violence and harassment are not tolerated, and it should outline what behaviors are considered unacceptable. It should also detail how employees can report concerns and the consequences for violating the policy. Now, clarity is key here. You want everyone to understand the rules and feel comfortable speaking up if they need to. Training your team is where the rubber meets the road. It's not enough to have a policy on paper. Your team needs to know what it means in practice. This includes recognizing warning signs like verbal and nonverbal cues that may indicate someone is becoming agitated, stressed, or aggressive, and understanding how to de-escalate potentially violent situations. This is a crucial skill. Calming down an individual who's becoming agitated or aggressive can help prevent a situation from escalating into violence. Training helps keep all of this top of mind. Next, establishing reporting procedures is crucial. Make sure your team knows exactly how to report incidents or concerns, and assure them that their reports will be taken seriously and there won't be any retaliation. Having a clear, straightforward process encourages people to come forward, which is key in preventing incidents before they escalate. They should know who to report to, how to make the report, whether verbally or in writing or through a specific online system, and what information needs to be included in the report. Now, next up is your response. What happens when an incident occurs? Having a response plan in place ensures you're not caught off guard. It should include immediate steps to ensure safety, how to support affected employees, and how to investigate and document the incident. And lastly, remember that your violence prevention program isn't set in stone. It should evolve as your business grows and changes. Regularly review and update your policy, the training, and the procedures to make sure they're still effective and relevant. Now, I know creating a workplace violence prevention program might seem like a big task. Actually, who am I kidding? It seems like a huge task. But breaking it down into manageable steps can make it much more approachable. And we've got something to help you get your program up and running. Just use the link in the description below to learn more about our Violence Prevention Plan Toolkit. We've made it user-friendly and aligned it with the requirements of SB 553. The toolkit includes a template violence prevention plan, training for your team, and the forms and notices you need to get and stay compliant. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed, just remember, we're here with all the resources to help you, from templates and guidelines to professional advice. You've got this, and your business and your team will be all the better for it.